Well. Welcome to the Honorable Mention Sports Week 8 podcast show, football show, talking about football show. I'm Josh Mancuso. This is my brother, Caleb Mancuso. Caleb, what's up?
What's up, brother Caleb? Checking in here from Washington, D.C. on a little business trip. Got my business casual on, holding my mic in the hotel room, and we're ready to go.
I like that. Is that a half zip you're wearing?
Oh, it's a huge half zip. Got to get that quarter zip. Actually, it's a full zip. Now I look it down, it's a full zip.
It goes all the way down?
Yeah.
If you had a quarter zip or half zip, you could be on the Manning cast.
Yeah, I could. So, I went to a South Carolina basketball game last year in Columbia, and instead of having like a kiss cam, they have a quarter zip cam, and they just pan around to all the middle-aged white guys, and you go like this.
Hey!
And it's just nothing full, but hey, I'm a financial planner, and I'm here at the game with my quarter zip. It was so electric.
Might play some golf, maybe shop at Kohl's later.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Go to Home Depot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great. Golly. You got the full zip today. That's great because the full zip allows you to more easily take it off, right? If you got a quarter zip, half zip, you got to go over the head, right?
That's right.
Full zip, you can zip it out and then just take it off the shoulders. It's way less intrusive. I'm out in public, I'm like pulling the thing off my head, like that's too much. Plus, it messes up.
You got
to
hold the undershirt. Yeah, you got to hold the undershirt down to make sure you're not just flashing everybody, in the buffet line.
Yeah, golly, you're up there in Washington D.C. That's the capital of our whole country.
That it is the capital. It's where all the smartest and best people in the whole world reside. Is in our capital here in D.C.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking. When I think of Washington D.C., I think of people that know what they're doing. Yeah. In control all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got some football to talk. All right. First, let's just real quick. Let's give a quick recap of the Tennessee-Florida game. We're both Tennessee fans. Ooh. I live in Tennessee. Caleb was raised in Tennessee. Now he lives in North Carolina. But give me some quick takeaways from Tennessee versus Florida. What do you think?
All right. So Ron Slay said we're going to take them to the boom room and lock the door. I spent an hour on Friday afternoon trying to call into Feinbaum and ask him if he agreed with that, and he did not take my call. So I don't know what's going on with Paul. But call Paul. He's a tough man to call.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think the takeaway is obvious. What's going on with Tennessee offense? I mean, they do not look good. They look really out of sync, really scared. Proud of them for winning. Definitely. Anytime you beat Florida, we beat them 3 times in 20 years. So we never, ever take a win against Florida, Georgia, or Alabama for granted. We know at Tennessee, that's how we judge success for a coach, and that's always a big win. Scares me a little bit with Alabama coming in. I think if you're a Florida fan, you got to be thinking, holy hell, how do we give that game away? I mean, opportunity after opportunity. They could have blown Tennessee out of the water, especially in the first half. So I don't know. It's kind of scary if you're the Florida head coach, Billy Napier.
If Florida lost that game as much, if not more, than Tennessee won the game, right? I mean,
Florida totally lost that game.
They lost that game. James Pierce Jr. stripping the ball on the 1 foot line, which was a miracle to save a touchdown score there. That's Tennessee right now. Tennessee is a top 5 defense, top 2 defense in most categories. I mean, they're one of the best defenses in the country, and average, giving up, I think 10.9 points per game or something like that, which is ridiculous. Tennessee ought to be undefeated by a mile with that kind of defense, right? If you have an offense that can perform week in, week out and bring the heat, bring the points like we did those first few games, we ought to be winning every game, including Alabama and maybe even including Georgia. But what is this? We have something on the screen. Why do we have this up?
Looks like Dylan Sampson Tennessee touchdown, so I like it.
Oh, how about that? Touchdown Tennessee. Dylan Sampson is the MVP of this football team right now. I'll tell you that. And I will say this about Nico. Nico is currently 1-0 against Florida, and that is more wins than Peyton Manning ever had against Florida. Now, he went 0-4 against Florida. Now, he only started in 3, so he was 0-3 as a starter against Florida. here is Nico sitting at 5-1 with a win against Florida. I mean, as bad as we want to complain about the offense, they are 5-1 with a win over the Gators. That is a place we would have loved to have been just a few years ago.
Yeah, no kidding, no question. And there's no question that the program in Knoxville is in better shape than the program in Gainesville. But let me ask you this: so we've seen Nico miss some pretty big throws 2 weeks in a row. He's had guys running free and hasn't hit them. Any chance Nico becomes a bust?
Wow. You know, I don't think so. I don't think so. I
You
think
took the biggest breath right there.
I did. It took me a second. I had to think about it. Nico is a bust. Whew, that would be one of the biggest busts we've ever seen in the college football. A 5-star worth however
Yeah.
many millions of dollars of his NIL valuation. I mean, like that would be insane. But no, I think he's going to be just fine. We saw him perform in the bowl game against Iowa. We saw him in the first few games perform well. He's going to throw interceptions. He is just a redshirt freshman. Now, some guys come in here. You get like a Johnny Manziel coming in as a redshirt freshman or sophomore or whatever he was, and just lighten it up like an insane like just wildly good that young. But then, I mean, Johnny kind of peaked, right? He didn't really go much further than that. Nico, I don't see him as a quarterback peaking as a redshirt freshman. He's going to peak as a junior, senior, could potentially be a 4-year guy, which would be unbelievable. I think he could walk away with a Heisman Trophy or two if he stayed all 4 years at Tennessee. So yeah, I think Nico is not a bust. I think he's just got to work some things out, get through these big games, learn a little bit about how to deal with pressure. He probably hasn't gotten a lot of pressure in high school, or if he did, he could just run away from it because he's just a better athlete. But when you got pressure coming from major SEC teams, then he's got to learn how to deal with that. We got a question here. What we got?
Yeah, from Daryl Franklin. Thanks for writing in. It seems like Tennessee's opponents lose a quarterback each week. Is Tennessee's play calling designed conservative to protect Nico? So I tell you my take on this. I think it's less to protect Nico. The play calling is conservative. I mean, my film breakdown consists of having about 5 beers and watching it on ESPN. So you can take that for what it's worth.
It's legit though.
But the play calling is conservative. I mean, come on, you're right. I think it's to protect the offensive tackles because they haven't been able to block anybody. And I think they know Nico can make the throws. I think they're scared they can't block him. That's my assessment of it. What's yours, Josh?
Yeah, that's probably true. I think that certainly what Tennessee fans like to say or think they say is like we're playing not to lose rather than playing to win. And
Sure.
I like when we were playing, who was it? We were Kent State or somebody. We did the onside kick after halftime or whatever. Remember, we were up like 50-0. We did an onside kick. Like that's the mentality that Nico even mentioned at the beginning of the year of, we got to keep our foot on their throat. And I think that like we've not seen that last couple of games. It's like, oh, we're playing these bigger teams. Our offensive line's not performing well. Nico's a little bit off. So it's like we're going to pull everything in and to get conservative. But I think everybody's tired of the running up the middle with Dylan Sampson, throw a wide receiver screen out to the side, and then just repeat, and then eventually take a shot downfield. Well, then we don't hit the pass. So I think if we want Nico to hit the downfield passes, you're going to have to throw more than 2 or 3 a game. You know what I mean? Because if you throw 10 and you miss 2 or 3, well, now you've just completed 7 or 8 long passes. But if you're just doing that a couple times a game, you're not giving your guy a chance to perform well, to be successful. So I think we got to open up the playbook, throw it down the field, continue to give the ball to Dylan. I mean, he's going to be successful, but they're expecting it every single time. Everybody in the stadium knows and at home knows what the play call is going to be every single time. And I think that's frustrating. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't really have an offensive coordinator's mind. I'm more of just a skilled athlete. I'm just more of a kind of an all-star athlete, like one of those guys that, you tell me what to do and I'm going to execute, I'm going to go out there and score touchdowns. This is what I do.
Yeah.
But from the offensive coordinator, that's more your stuff.
Yeah. I think I texted you during the game and said, are you ready for the run, pass, punt? And then we went run, pass, punt. Literally,
Caleb
it was
literally texting me during the game. He's like, watch this, run, pass, punt. That's exactly what we did. We ran it 2 times in a row and then threw it, incomplete, punted it. I mean, yeah.
How the hell am I calling plays? Watching this thing on ABC, drinking beer. That's insane.
I don't know. All right, we got another question here real quick. We'll bring it up. Josh, when will the Fighting Illini, all right, be a contender for anything? Such a long drought for their football team. Love the basketball team, but come on, football team. I love it. Martha, thanks for the question. That's great. Yeah, the Fighting Illini are a contender now, and they got it going on. I don't know, I got to look at their schedule, but I don't anticipate them beating an Ohio State or Penn State, but I do see them maybe beating Michigan, which would be pretty
Ooh.
awesome to see. And that is coming up this weekend, Michigan versus Illinois. And I would like to be there for that game. So we're going to go through our picks here in a second. So hang tight, Martha, and we'll give you more insight there on our picks. Yeah, we got one more question here from Danny Wright. We'll let you take this, Caleb. Lance Hurd has not been living up to expectations. I think you guys are wrong about opening the playbook. We have to stop the stupid penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. The penalties are egregious. And they've been from the tackle position, right tackle and left tackle Lance Hurd. 3 times, if I remember correctly, we had a big scramble from the quarterback, Nico, scrambled 25 yards or more down the field, and all 3 times it got brought back from a holding penalty. So you go from we're about to run the hurry up in Florida territory, got everybody off target, to now we're back behind the change in our own territory, and that's when we kind of seem to get conservative. So yeah, that's a great point. I'm not gonna fight you on that one. They had some really bad penalties that just stalled drives.
Yeah, 100%. I think maybe it's a both and. I think we need to open up the playbook a little bit still. But yeah, if you stop the dumb penalties, then all of a sudden you've scored more points, and now you got the defense on their heels, and now you can do what works. So I think you're right. It's both and. So, all right. So we're going to go to my top 25, which, as everyone knows, is the most important top 25 in college football. It's not the AP, it's not the coaches, it's not the ESPN FPI. It's the Josh Mancuso top 25 every week. And just for the record, I don't usually even look at the AP poll or the coaches poll. I make this poll out of my own little brain. And I get a lot of questions about it. People asking me like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? So we're going to go through it here real quick and we can check it out. Yeah, what are we doing? Let's go. I like that last view we had there, Drew. Drew's our producer. He's there. Oh, look at that. Let's stick with that one. That's good. You can see it good.
All right. So let me ask you about it.
Take me through it. Go ahead. Ask me about it. Ask me anything you want.
So you got number 1 Texas. We got number 1 Texas up here. Oregon has by far and away the best win of anybody this year, right? And you don't think they're better than Texas? Like, if I'm an Oregon fan, I'm going, come on, dude. We just got the best win there is. Who's Texas beat? Oklahoma? No offense, Oklahoma?
No, Oklahoma is rough. You're right. All right, so I think it's sort of a and this is the case with a lot of the teams that I have up here, like Miami. People are even like, why is Miami that high? I had Miami third at one point earlier in the season. Now I dropped it back a little bit because I think I'm seeing some of the points other people are making. But like with Texas, it's sort of like an innocent till proven guilty mentality. They look like the best team. They look like the most complete team. Everybody they've played, they've dominated, right?
Yeah.
Just dominated. I was talking about Tennessee being like a top 5 or top 2 defense. Texas is the top 1 defense. Their defense is amazing. So I think when I look at this, and if I look at Texas playing Oregon, I think Texas wins, right? So that's why I have Texas above Oregon. Oregon has certainly proven themselves and to be worthy of a number 1. So if someone has Oregon number 1, I wouldn't argue it. I'd say that's cool. But I just think Texas is the more dominant team. So yeah. Yolanda, hook them. Hook them horns.
Yolanda likes it. Yeah. We'll see this weekend. Right? I think we're going to find out more about Texas than we are about Georgia. We know what we got with Georgia. Who's Texas? That's what I want to see.
I don't know. We will find out. How about Texas just destroying Oklahoma? Oklahoma's they're just so daggone bad on offense. It's terrible. All right. So what else do you see in here?
Man, what else do I see in here? So I want to ask you a question about 6 and 7, Miami and Clemson. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Clemson, your boy Dabo. You guys are big pals. You guys are boys.
Yeah.
What do you think Miami and Clemson's record would be if they played Georgia's schedule? or if they played Tennessee's schedule.
Yeah, I think Miami could potentially be. I think they could be 10-2, maybe,
You
but more
think
than
you think they're that good?
maybe I think they're good. Maybe 9-3. Um, Clemson, as far as playing Georgia's schedule, they already lost to Georgia already, first game of the year. But I think
Yeah.
again, I'm looking like I guess the way I look at these rankings is like it's partly like top 25, like based on wins and all that, but also partly ESPN FPI, like based on who I think is going to be winning going forward. Like who's just the best team, right? Like I look at Clemson, and I'm like, yeah, they're playing Wake Forest and Stanford and all these teams, but again, like
Yes.
Texas, they're dominating, and they are a team that I've had the good fortune to see in person on the practice field and see. So I feel like I have seen the inside of their huddle a little bit, and they're good. They're really really good. So in fact, I think Miami may not lose another game because of their schedule. They may go 12-0 until they play likely Clemson in the ACC championship. Right?
Who would you take there? You like Clemson in that game?
I'd take Clemson. Yeah, I think Clemson beats Miami. I think Miami's good because of Cam Ward. He is the
Yeah.
um, he's a Heisman contender. He's amazing. But Miami's got good athletes. Mario Cristobal is a great coach. Came from Oregon to Miami to win, and they're doing it. I mean, it's still not. I mean, I know it was Cal, but to go on the road to the West Coast and play in what ended up being a hard fought game, a Cal team that you know is looks like they're decently good. Uh, you know, it ends up in a dogfight, and then they pull out the win. Miami just keeps finding ways to win. So I'm going to give them again innocent till proven guilty on teams like Texas, Miami, Penn State, even who had to sneak by USC, on
Yeah.
Saturday,
Yeah,
but
that's
they got
tough.
it done. They made a huge comeback on the road in the Coliseum and won the game. Like there's something to be said for that.
I hear you. So we just had a comment come in. Just missed who it came from, but it said, yeah, here we go. From J Todd, where does strength of schedule factor in to your analysis here, your top 25?
Yeah, I mean it does factor in. I mean, I think again, one reason why Penn State's above Georgia is simply because they haven't lost, right? Is Georgia a better team? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm giving Penn State the benefit of the doubt at this point. Georgia did lose to an Alabama team that lost to Vanderbilt, right? So Georgia with a tough strength of schedule, Alabama with a tough strength of schedule, but lost to Vanderbilt, right? It's like,
True.
well, and I think strength of schedule benefits the SEC. You look here, we've got 10 teams or however many from the SEC in my top 25, including Vanderbilt, Missouri, Arkansas, Ole Miss, because the SEC is so tough to play in. And ultimately, we all know those first 11 spots when it comes to the playoff, it's not a huge deal what number you are. It's just that you're in, right? The fact that you're in. Um, but I think strength of schedule certainly matters, but you also got to win games. You know what I mean? Like Miami can't help that their schedule isn't as strong as Georgia's, but they are 6-0. So
True.
they can only play the teams that are on their schedule.
So that's true, but I would say playing at Cal and playing at Alabama on Saturday night are totally different. I mean, that is a different environment, right?
100%. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think how does Miami do if they play an SEC schedule?
I think they get smoked.
Yeah.
I don't think they can hold up. No, not at all. Yeah. So going to road games in the SEC, they are bananas. They're absolute bananas. I don't know how anybody wins on the road at most places in
Yeah.
the SEC. Not talking about Vanderbilt. All of a sudden, that's the toughest place to play in the nation, apparently.
Yeah.
But even schools like South Carolina and Arkansas, they are bananas if you're actually there in person. It's just not the same at Wake Forest. It's not the same at Cal.
Yeah.
And eventually you will see cracks in the system when those ACC teams played, if they played in the SEC. That's been my prediction all along, right? I mean, the perfect example is Texas A&M. Texas A&M came in, they got a big program, they got all the money in the world, and they always end up kind of like ho-hum. because
Yeah.
it's incredible to win on the road in this conference. And that's the same in basketball too. The ACC does it in basketball, but so does the SEC.
Yeah. The one thing that people have brought up multiple times with me, I've seen on Facebook and Instagram, is me ranking Texas A&M at 12, Notre Dame at 14, and with Notre Dame having beat Texas A&M
Yeah.
at Kyle Field. And I think that's a great point. I think that's a great argument that Notre Dame could be ahead of Texas A&M. But I think that, again, like Clemson, when you look at the first game of the season, who a team is then versus who they are now, even though Notre Dame beat Texas A&M, I think A&M is a better team now. So I think if they played again, I think A&M wins. You can say, well, yeah, but they didn't play again, and Notre Dame won the first game they played. And I think I'm just looking at it like a combination of what they've done versus also where they're going. So I look at it right now. I think I got A&M over Tennessee. Tennessee fans mad at me. I got some in my comments, and I got a lady in my DMs who was like, "I'm unfollowing you and not watching you anymore. You're not funny because you're not giving love to the Vols." I'm like, they're 13th. They're lucky to be 13th. Their offense looks like a number 30 team, but they're number 13 here. Because I got them behind A&M and LSU because I think they play head to head against A&M LSU. I don't think they win right now.
You don't?
No, I mean they might, but based on what I've seen, I don't think that they do. I think those are better teams right now. Now Tennessee, if they get it together, if they get their offense together, they can beat anybody on this chart right here. Anybody. So
Sure.
it's just, it's all speculation, right? But it is so fun to do. I love doing the top 25. It's fun. I love having Vanderbilt in there at number 25. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean, somebody asked, oh yeah, there's Franklin again. Daryl, why is Vandy so low? They beat up on Bama. Well,
I hear you, Daryl.
It's a good point. I hear you.
Yeah,
They're 4-2. They did lose to Georgia State, so I can't get him up there too. They're lucky to be in the top 25 at all, because they lost to Georgia State, for goodness sake. But I don't know if the AP or those guys even have Vanderbilt in the top 25 yet, but they should. It's like, give them their moment, because they got to play Texas in 2 weeks, and it's all over at that point. You know what I mean? And let them have their time in the top 25 for a little bit. And Caleb will love this. Good West Point graduate, Army. I got Army at 24. How about Army, baby?
Yes, sir.
Undefeated.
How about it, baby? Fire it up. Do the rocket. Black Knights. And you know who else is undefeated, not on your top 25 list? Navy. I love that. Get Navy out of there. Army
Get
only.
them out of there. I had somebody ask. They said, "I see Army's on there. Where's Navy?" I said, "They're behind Army. That's where they are."
Yeah.
Army's 24. I got Navy. They're probably like 28, 29. But it's pretty cool. They're both undefeated. How do you feel about that? You're a West Point graduate, an Army guy. How's it feel to have these teams undefeated?
Oh man. So yeah, Army and Navy both went into the AAC, American Athletic Conference, and are just running through it like a hot knife through butter. I absolutely love it. Army's got a phenomenal quarterback. This kid is built like a linebacker, and he can pass.
Yeah,
about that. Awesome. Haven't had a guy that could pass since 1906 or something.
That's right. And he can run.
So they look awesome, and he can run. And so both of those teams play the Irish. They end up playing. I think they play at MetLife against Navy in the next week or so, and then in November, Army plays Yankee Stadium against the Fighting Irish. So I cannot wait for that. I think Army's got a chance to beat them. I really do. I'm not saying they're going to, but I think they can compete. And that's what I love about it. But I heard this recently. I'm not a big Navy guy, but I did hear the Navy fight song this week. I kind of liked it. You know what it was?
What was it?
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's their actual fight song. Popeye the Sailor Man.
Popeye the Sailor Man. I love that. Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah, with his cans of spinach. That is great. Wow. That is great.
Absolutely.
We've got some questions here. Let's take a few questions. Let's see. Featherling. What's up, Featherling? How many 2-loss teams will make the playoff? That's a good question. I think it depends on the team. A 2-loss Georgia, they make the playoff. A 2-loss Miami, they don't make the playoff. Right? That's when I think strength of schedule does, in fact, come into play. 2-loss Iowa State, nope. I think it depends on the team. Caleb, what do you think?
2-loss SEC teams getting in. No question. 2-loss SEC team is getting in. Alabama, Tennessee, or Georgia, any of those teams that have 2 losses, guaranteed to get in. LSU would be guaranteed to get in with 2 losses. And certainly Texas. I don't see Texas losing 2 games, but I think they would still get in. All those teams immediately come to mind as teams that would get in with 2 losses. Yeah, that's my thought there. The other conferences, I think it gets close. The Big Ten will sneak somebody in with 2 losses. I think a Big Ten power, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, all of those could sneak in with 2 losses. The ACC, I don't see them being able to pull anybody. They're going to pull one champion. That's going to be that.
I think that's probably true. Clemson could have a chance as a 2-loss team if their one loss is against Georgia and the next loss is like maybe in the ACC championship to Miami or something like that. I think
that's
that could
true.
happen.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Michigan as a 2-loss team. They've already got 2 losses. The chances of them winning out, I think, are not very good. So I think we could count Michigan out. Yeah. I would think. All right, so good. That's the top 25. It's great to see teams like Boise State and Indiana. How about Indiana? Undefeated, 6-0. I love it.
Good for them.
Ole Miss, Arkansas, 2-loss teams. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. We got a good slate of college football coming. We're going to go through our picks right now for this weekend. We've got 12 picks we're going to run through pretty quick. So let's get that started. Caleb, you ready? Ready to pick some games?
I am ready. I'm ready.
All right. First game is actually tomorrow night, Thursday night. I thought this was an interesting game. Boston College at Virginia Tech. We are close to Virginia Tech here where I live. A lot of Tech fans around here. Boston College, impressive with a couple of their wins earlier. I'm taking Boston College on the road at Virginia Tech to finish or to come into a 5-2 season so far. Pretty cool. Virginia Tech is a 7-point favorites, which I find interesting given Virginia Tech nearly losing to Vanderbilt. And I don't know, but I'm taking Boston College.
Boston College all day. They've got a phenomenal quarterback, Castellano, I think is his last name. Yeah. He is phenomenal. I can't believe they're underdogs here. Like that's
7 points.
Like, oh God, it's getting really locky getting 7 points. I like Boston College to win the game. It's not even close. Give me BC all day.
Eagles
all day. Go Eagles. Go Eagles. Too bad they're not playing Army because we're big on predatory birds.
That's right. Army crushes the birds. If your mascot,
the birds.
If your mascot flies, you better just shut it down because Army Black Knights will beat you. So all right.
Love it. So I'm looking at your next pick. You got Miami 6-0. You're at Louisville 4-2. You've been giving Miami all this strength of schedule praise. You got to take them here, right?
I mean, I do. I think this is one of those games. It's like, how good is Louisville? What you and I said on a previous episode that we don't think Louisville's that good, and now they've got 2 losses. This would still be a decent win for Miami, one of their better wins of the season so far. So I think they go to Louisville. I think they win maybe by a couple of touchdowns. So I like the Hurricanes to win this game for sure.
Oh God, I think this is going to be a close game. The line reflects it, 4.5 points. Miami's a favorite by 4.5. I'm going to take Miami. Miami's a better team. They have the better squad, but I don't think Miami's so good that they're going to run away with it like you do. I think they're going to win, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Going to be close.
Yeah, it could be. All right. We're both picking Miami though. I mean, if they win, they're at 7-0, which is impressive. I'm thinking about the Miami of old. Remember the Miami of old, the 90s? It's like comeback time for all these teams: Miami, Nebraska, Tennessee, all these teams from the 90s, early 2000s.
Oh yeah. Miami was scary back in the 90s.
Yeah, Woo. They were amazing.
They were.
All right.
So you got Oklahoma State at BYU. So we talked to Ron Slay quite a bit about BYU and playing up there. Talked about what a lock they were, and they sure were. They were a complete lock last week. Yeah. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, BYU's 9-point favorites, I think, and I think that's again, I'm thinking they go bigger than that. I like BYU's offense. They seem to be having fun. It's like an offense that you like to watch play because they just score a lot of points. They do a lot of cool things. I like BYU. Oklahoma State has been disappointing thus far. 3-3, and in the Big 12, they still got some other big games they got to play. I just think it could be a really horrible season in the end for the Cowboys. So you got Ollie Gordon the second, the best running back arguably in America behind that kid from Boise State, Ashton Jeanty. But
Yeah.
like, and you don't block for him. They have no O line. It's like it's just it just speaks to how important it is to have an offensive line. You got to build. That's the foundation. Right? That's the foundation of the house. Like you have to have that. Otherwise, you're not going to be. It doesn't matter how good of the skill athlete you bring in, what kind of recruit you bring in at quarterback, running back. It does not matter. Your O line needs to be an absolute wall. Or it doesn't matter. You're going to go 3-3 like the Oklahoma State Cowboys. So yeah, give me BYU Cougars all day.
Got to have those big boys that can clean out a buffet line, huh?
That's right. The big hog mollies up front.
That's right. That's right. So there's no way I can pick Oklahoma State after what Coach Gundy did to me a couple weeks ago when you made that stupid video with the sunglasses.
People love that video. And
yeah,
it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah, they do. No, I love BYU at home. It's tough to play up there. Oklahoma State doesn't good. But real quick before we move on, we talk a lot about how good the SEC is. They beat they beat Arkansas. Oklahoma State did. Arkansas beats Tennessee. What's going on? What's going on there?
Man, I think Arkansas is really good. I think Arkansas is better than people think. They're one of those teams that look at Bart Lyon. Caleb was a beast at Science Hill. Let's just go.
Oh, hey Bart, how are you, Bart? Hadn't seen you in a long time, man.
What's up? I love how you just said Caleb was a beast at Science Hill. No mention of me in there. I just literally got through talking about what an elite athlete I am, and Bart didn't even mention me at all. Just straight to Caleb, beast at Science Hill. You were a beast, though.
Oh, Bart's the man.
Strong safety, right?
Yeah. I was safety. Some people may say strong, some people may say weak safety. I don't know. It just depends.
It's a safety. I like it. All right, let's keep going here because I think we'll talk about Arkansas more in a minute. Oklahoma State, just a disappointment is what they've been. Cowboys, no. Okay, let's next game, Kansas State.
we got some more commentary
at West Virginia.
From the peanut gallery.
What is this? Coach Rich Murray said Caleb was the hardest hitter ever. What? Look at this. Like, what is this? The Caleb show? Is this we're just going in? You want to roll some highlights from Caleb and Science Hill? You want to talk about all the great tackles he made and all the awards he made? He was all conference second team, which apparently is better than honorable mention, I guess. I mean, and there was a banquet that you got to go to. I didn't even get invited to a banquet. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, dude, the food at that banquet was amazing. I still taste it in my dreams. Yeah, it was good, man. I hate you missed it. I hate you missed it.
Yeah, I did get my name in the newspaper though, along with the others. It was at the very bottom. It was like, also mentioned, Josh Mancuso. So it was in there. That is how we came up with the name for this company, Honorable Mention Sports, in honor of my mentioning as an elite athlete in high school. So, here we go. We got Bart. Bart's coming back. Murray said Josh was a great receiver. There we go. It's like, thanks,
he was.
Bart. Bart's just throwing it in there. He's like, all right, whatever. Murray said Josh was a great receiver. That's all you get, buddy. So, yeah. If you're watching or listening, thanks. Make sure you're commenting like these guys, and make sure you're following Honorable Mention Sports on Twitter or X, whatever it is, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, MySpace, and all those locations.
Oh, look at this. Josh had 22 career catches at Science Hill High School. That's thank you to Bart Lyon.
What phenomenal. Bart coming in with the stat 22 career catch. That's Bart. That can't be right. I had more than that. I had more than 22. I know it. I just know
22 is pretty good. Back when you played, man, they were running like the wing tee and all that stuff, old man.
Yeah, we didn't throw as much.
You guys didn't throw it much.
Golly. If you Matthew Love, if you played backyard football with Caleb, you learned how to form tackle. Caleb learned how to form tackle from yours truly. Okay. When he was like 5 years old, I had him out there in the backyard beating the snot out of him with some toy helmets and shoulder pads. And we used to get after it, didn't we, buddy?
Yeah, you broke my Houston Oilers toy helmet because you were out there hitting me so damn hard. You're 10 years older.
And that is why you are the beast that Bart Lyon says you are.
Yeah, love it.
That's it. I take full credit for. So really, I mean, I take credit for you being such a good athlete, with you being younger and me being older, and me teaching you the ropes. That I feel like I'm also all conference second team right there with you. Even though they put me in the honorable mention, I feel like I'm probably up there with you.
Yeah, yeah. I think if your career achievements are my athletic career, yeah, that's it. You know, we need to keep going. Maybe keep trying a comedy thing.
Well, yeah, I can always fall back on that if my athletic career doesn't pan out. I'm still trying. I am in my 40s, but it's never too late. All right, back on track. Here we go.
Yeah,
But real
back
quick,
to the picks.
we got that Brett said I think he meant 22 touchdowns, right? Yes, that's right.
No,
20. I don't think our offense scored 22 touchdowns in my senior year. But you know what? It's all right. We had Science Hill, great place. Steve Spurrier went to high school at
yep.
Science Hill, all state and
O'Brien
free sport.
Franklin was your classmate. What an animal he was at middle linebacker.
That's
He
right.
ended up playing at Tennessee and then the NFL for years.
Yeah, Brian Franklin played
Yeah.
linebacker, had a state record, I think 180 tackles as a senior, which is just
Wow.
ridiculous. Then he goes to junior college, goes to Tennessee, gains a bunch of weight, gets huge, and plays decent defensive tackle at Tennessee. He was behind John Henderson his first year, then starts when he's a senior. Goes to the NFL, drafted by the Ravens, I think, in the 4th round, plays for the Ravens, plays for the 49ers, maybe the Colts, has a
Yep.
10-year career, just crushes it. And so that's the thing. I come from a team of elite athletes. We
Oh
were
yeah.
all just so good, all of us, me,
The
O'Brien,
pinnacle.
like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you got into Oklahoma drills with O'Brien, and it was just like, boy, Josh and O'Brien just neck
Yeah,
and neck.
just
Yeah,
hitting
you
at
put
it.
a hurting on O'Brien, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, he still remembers the hits you put on him in practice, I
He
bet.
does. Again, I take credit for O'Brien's success as an
Okay.
NFL player because of
At
the
least
hits that we
he
did.
did something, unlike me.
That you, hey, that's you at West Point. Yeah. What is that? You could have played football at West Point. I bet you could have played. They could use you.
Oh, long story there. We'll get into it
Okay.
some other time.
All right. Some other time we'll go to. All right. Martha, just like Cam Rising in your 40s. That's that's right. Cam Rising at Utah. He's old. He might come back for a 12th year. You never know. We got to get back to our picks. Where were we? We were Kansas State and West Virginia. We were talking about that, which is a
Ooh.
game that, I want to pick just because I keep wanting to believe in West Virginia at 3-3, with Kansas State coming in at 5-1.
I know.
I want to take West Virginia here. It's at home. We got the odds here coming up, 2.5-point favorites for Kansas State. That's not a lot. That's a close game right there. A conference battles, both 2-1 in the conference.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm Caleb. I'm doing it. I'm taking West
taking
Virginia. Give me the Mountaineers. I want to see the Mountaineers win this game, go 4-3, and move up in the Big 12. That's going to happen.
How did they do last week? Well, West
They
Virginia.
lost. They lost last
They
week.
lost.
Yes.
Okay, so we had the man Ron Slay on the show, and we talked about the incredible Cole uniforms. And Ron Slay said, "You cannot lose in the Cole uniform. You can't lose in the Cole." That's what he said. Man,
they did.
No, they did. No,
They
if Ron Slay says you can't lose in those, I can't ever pick you again, ever. So give me Kansas State.
Taking the Wildcats, Avery Johnson with the curly hair, just dialing up touchdowns out there in Morgantown, West Virginia. Yeah, possibly. Brett says, yeah, Josh with the super dog.
That's a super dog.
Pick. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. I think West Virginia has a lot of the tools to win a lot of games. They really do. They just got to put it all together. They did beat Oklahoma State, which apparently isn't that big a deal these days, given how bad they are. But I like the pick, though. That's Kansas State. It's, I hope they keep rolling. It's cool to watch them play good football again. But I'm taking the Mountaineers. All right, Caleb, what's our next pick?
Okay, I got a good one for you. Kentucky 3-3 at Florida 3-3. Florida coming off of an overtime loss. Kentucky coming off of a loss to Vanderbilt, game which I thought Vanderbilt would not win but would cover.
Yeah.
They did cover, and they also won. So, what are you thinking there? Wildcats at Gators?
Man, this is in the swamp, right? This
In the swamp.
I think it is.
It's in the swamp.
Kentucky,
Line's even.
Even. That's a golly. It's even. They can't even decide. They're like, these teams are both 3-3. They're both 500. They're both average. It's a toss up. I'm gonna go with Kentucky to win on the road at Florida because of Kentucky's defense. They've got an amazing defense, like a top 8 defense in most categories, but they're 3-3 because again they don't have enough offense. But I think Graham Mertz is out for Florida. Graham Cracker Mertz, he's out. I hate it for him. It's so sad that he's gone. DJ Lagway, crazy good talent, not ready to be the man, which is why they did the 2 quarterback thing. I don't think they can get it done. I think Kentucky goes in there and wins against the Gators.
I like Florida. I think that Florida looked good against Tennessee. I know they've looked bad against Miami and stuff. They still got a Florida roster. They've still got a typical Florida roster. I don't know why they can't get it together, but it's there. And I could see the bones of it against Tennessee. And I'm taking the Gators to eat up on Kentucky. My real question for you is, what about Billy Napier? Does he survive, or you think he's gone?
I mean, he's going to be there for the rest of the year, I'm pretty sure. And I think it makes it way more complicated. Yeah, I think it makes it way more complicated if he wins. If he beats Kentucky, then and wins a couple more games. You know, if they end up going 7-5, which is possible, how do you justify firing him? I don't know. I think I kind of like Billy. I mean, they've been so close in so many games. They just haven't put it together. I don't know, but I think if Florida loses, it's way easier to fire him. So there's probably, I don't know, Florida fans, if there's any Florida fans out there hoping that they lose some games so they can get rid of Billy Napier and get a new coach in here. That's probably the case. But what I don't know is who are you going to get? Who are you going to go get? You know, I mean, every team now, like what would make Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss and go to Florida? What does Florida have Ole Miss doesn't? I mean,
yeah,
you can get players anywhere now to any team. NIL has changed the game. You can get them anywhere. So I think Napier is an average coach, and you may be able to go get somebody else. But if you go get somebody else, you're gonna have to rebuild with them. And how do you know that they're going to be any better than he was? I don't know. I mean,
what about Missouri coach Eli Drinkowitz?
Yeah,
I think I mispronounced his name. Darth Vader is what I call him. Yeah. So Brett asked this question: Kiffin or Drink? I agree with you on the Kiffin thing. I think Lane has moved around so much; he's kind of learned his lesson. He's got a good thing going on Ole Miss. But what about Eli?
It depends on how Missouri continues to do. I mean, Missouri seems like a team that everybody was high on early on, but they don't look that great. Honestly, their defense is decent, but their offense is struggling, and their offense is what everybody was really high on. So, Drinkwitz would be a decent coach, but I feel like it would be, you know, a Dan Mullen type hire. It's like, oh, this is a big hire. This is good stuff. But then Florida's not going to be happy with what he delivers because Florida wants undefeated seasons and SEC titles, and it's getting harder to get there than it used to be. And I don't know. A lot of the best coaches are taken, and it's being, I think, increasingly more difficult for them to leave the job they're in. So, the Drink's attitude would fit at Florida. That's true.
They would. I just saw an Alabama fan. It appears in a comment, Chris Koff, that says they can have DeBoer.
Chris, are you done with?
Come on, Chris. Come on, man.
They can have DeBoer. Look, you guys you're still Alabama. Like you already beat Georgia.
We're still scared of you next week.
Yeah, you're still Bama. I mean, yeah. Mark says Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Again, Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Why would Matt Campbell leave Iowa State to go to Florida? The answer usually seems obvious. Well, Florida's a high-profile coaching job. Yeah, but at Iowa State, you're undefeated currently and with a chance to win the Big 12 and then go to the playoff. You know, why leave and go to Florida where you got NIL issues and, you know, you got to compete with Georgia and Alabama and Texas and Tennessee and Ole Miss. You know, every year. Well, I don't know. What about you? If you were Matt Campbell, would you leave Iowa State to go to Florida?
Yeah, I would strongly consider it for a couple reasons. One is the money and guarantee contracts you can pull out of a school like Florida if they really want you, are like you can never have to coach again in your whole life. If this doesn't work out, that's fine. They'll fire you. It'll be embarrassing, and they'll cut you a ridiculous check to leave, much more so than you got now. But the second reason is, I don't know this for sure, but my assumption would be NIL money at Florida is well superior to NIL money at Iowa State. I mean, the University of Florida should have a ridiculous NIL fund. Would be very confident that they do. I think when you look at the resources there, and then the history of the program and the swamp, and you start tagging all that on, yeah, it's a place you can win a championship at. There's no question about it. You're not winning a championship at Iowa State. I mean, maybe you catch lightning in a bottle one year, but developing that into a program that competes with Texas and Alabama and stuff now. So
yeah,
we ain't taking Jimbo Fisher, Travis Lee. Sorry, man.
That's funny. The best, what they said, the best job in the world is to be a former Texas A&M head coach, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way to go. So, one thing. All right. So you've got people like PJ Fleck at Minnesota. You've got people like Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State. These coaches have stayed there for a long time, passed up other offers. What do you think, Caleb? What makes them stay at those schools rather than taking a leap to a bigger school, which is where I think I might be if I were a coach? I don't know. But if you're like, I'm Matt Campbell, I love Iowa State. I love it here. I'm making $2 million. Yeah, I can make $8 million or more. I mean, or I'm making $4 million. I can make $10 million. I don't know. But there's a lot of factors. What keeps coaches at their schools when it's sort of one of those, not high profile schools?
Yeah, so a great example of this is Mark Stoops at Kentucky, right? And I don't know if Stoops has had chances to go anywhere else or not, but Kentucky hasn't been competitive before Mark Stoops like ever. So I think what keeps him there is that you can have success there and you can be liked and you can build your team without the constant threat of getting fired if you have one hiccup. I mean, if you have a serious hiccup at Texas A&M, Tennessee, Georgia, man, all of a sudden it can get into a negative spiral so fast, right?
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. I think part of it just comes down to life enjoyment. I mean, if you take a school like Florida, there's just so much that goes into that, so much press, so many people, so much pressure. Look at Alabama. DeBoer's lost one game, and it's already like people even commenting on here, they're ready to get rid of him. Right? That pressure is just extreme. So I think it's really got to do with the pressure.
Yeah.
All in all.
But that's a good point. Okay, so Crabtree says he's DeBoring compared to Saban. I love that's a joke I've used before. And Brett, you'll be excited. Brett. That's a joke I have currently written in my script for Tennessee versus Bama video coming out in the next day or two. You guys will enjoy that. Yeah. So all right. So we got to get back to the picks here. Let's keep going. I'm taking Kentucky. You're taking Florida. All right. So next we got Nebraska at Indiana, a game that has college football playoff implications. Nebraska at Indiana. Who would have thought it?
Wow. I would never have thought it.
Who would have thought it?
I would never have thought it.
I'm
taking Indiana. Indiana.
Let's go.
Home team on Fox. They got to do it.
They're going to do it. Yeah, Fox, a noon kickoff. I mean, Nebraska, great team. Really cool to see Nebraska back. When Nebraska football is playing good, all is well in the country, right? Nebraska, Miami, Tennessee, Florida State. Well, not Florida State. They suck horribly. But Indiana, I think, wins this game at home. They're the Hoosiers 6-0, about to go to 7-0. Kurt Signetti, is that how you say his last name?
I think so.
The guy that said, look me up. I win everywhere I go. Google me. That's what he says. They Google me. I win. He does. They're calling him the next Nick Saban of college football, or somebody is calling him that, which is pretty exciting. I think he's got Indiana playing football. Give me the Hoosiers. Yeah.
Love it. So, what about this game this weekend? LSU, Arkansas. What are you thinking there?
Man,
that is, whoo.
I'm going to tell you something. My head says LSU. My heart says Arkansas. My heart, my gut. Like, I just seen Arkansas play. They could easily be 6-0.
God,
and you could say that about, I'm sure, a number of teams, but they look really good. LSU looks really good. I think the biggest thing Arkansas has going for them this game is it's a home game. I think is it at night? I think it might be at night.
Yeah.
I like the Hogs. LSU, they're playing great. They got that win over Ole Miss. We got Sam Pittman. You're gonna have some cold beer after, I'm sure.
Yes, sir,
LSU
Sam.
2.5-point favorites. I don't know, man. I feel like taking the Razorbacks. I mean, they need it. Sam Pittman needs it. Screw it. I'm doing it. Give me the Hogs. Arkansas upsets LSU. Let's go.
Oh, I love it. So Arkansas coming off of a bye week while LSU
Yeah.
had to play Ole Miss in a absolute war. That was an absolute war. Yeah, I like Arkansas. Arkansas. We got Arkansas offensive lineman Addison Nichols. Talking to him later tonight. He'll be on the program.
That's right.
Looking forward to getting his commentary on what he sees from LSU. But
Yep.
I like the Hogs. I like the Hogs off of a bye week at home. Bye week at home is huge. And I just think that's a big advantage. You look at LSU, they got Ole Miss, they got them at night, they got them in Death Valley, Baton Rouge. So a lot going for them there. Now they got to do the reverse. Go play at Arkansas at night after Arkansas's been off a week. Give me Sam Pittman and the Hogs. Headed to the buffet line a week and good.
Let's go. Give me those Hogs. Like Early says, it's going to be a tight, low-scoring game, 24-21. I like that score. I might make that my score for the week. Earl, thank you.
I like that, Earl.
Think that's a good one. I might just steal that. We're both picking the Hogs. That is wild. I mean, we're feeling good. And yes.
Yeah, that is wild.
To mention Addison Nichols, former offensive lineman at Tennessee, playing guard. I think he was playing guard, maybe tackle. I can't remember if he's guard or tackle, but transferred to Arkansas at the end of last year, became Arkansas's starting center. So excited. Addison's a good friend of mine and his family's a good friend of mine. So we're going to have Addison Nichols, center from Arkansas, on our show tonight. We think around 9:30 Eastern time. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be interesting. We're going to talk to him about his time at Tennessee, the decision to move to Arkansas, what it's like at Arkansas, playing for Sam Pittman, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be really interesting. So tune in for that. All right. What do we got next, Caleb?
Oh, man. What do we got next? So let's stay in the SEC for this one.
Okay.
Let's look at South Carolina 3-3 at Oklahoma. Both teams coming off rough losses. Oklahoma got blown out. South Carolina had that game again in the bag yet again. They just proved to be the most mediocre team in the SEC forever. Carolina fans hate it. They hate Josh for saying it, but they just keep delivering on that. They keep delivering.
They do. So what are you taking? Who are you taking? Taking the Sooners?
I don't want to take either of them. I don't trust either of them. Oh, they're both just not trustworthy teams. I'm going to take Oklahoma.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm done.
No, he's switching. He's switching last minute.
I can't take Oklahoma. That offense is too bad. I can't take it. That offense is too bad. I got to take South Carolina. South Carolina's been right there with Alabama and with LSU. They should have beat both of them. So I got to take South Carolina. Oklahoma's not been right there with anybody.
I like it, man. I'm kind of I was hoping you're going to take Oklahoma because I'm thinking about taking South Carolina myself. I've been thinking about all along, thinking they look so good and they're so close. Oklahoma, I don't know. On the road, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Guys, what do I do? Somebody tell me, who do I pick? We got people in the comments. We got, South Carolina. Okay, everybody's saying South Carolina in the comments. I mean,
yeah, a lot of South Carolina comments.
I don't know. You know what? I'm taking the Sooners. Let's go. I'm taking the Sooners. They got whipped against Texas. I know, but they got a strong defense. I think they stifle South Carolina's offense. All right, hold South Carolina to 13 points maybe, and then Oklahoma squeaks out 14 or 17, and they win a low-scoring game. South Carolina's never played in Norman. I mean, Tennessee went to Norman and won, what was it, 25-15, something like that? Yeah. Tennessee's a much better team than South Carolina.
25-15, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Sooners. Let's go. Boomer Sooner, baby.
Wow. Woo! Wow. Brent Venables, riding with him.
Riding with Coach V. All the South Carolina fans are going to be mad at me because I don't ever pick the Cox, for goodness sakes. But I will at some point pick South Carolina, but not today. Give me the Sooners.
No, they're gonna love you even more.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Okay. Another SEC matchup I'm excited about because I'm feeling crazy, Caleb. I'm feeling crazy. We got
Tell me.
Auburn at Missouri.
Woo!
Auburn 2-4. Auburn at Missouri. Missouri's 5-1. Predicted to win this game, of course, but the spread's only 4.5 points.
Oh, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Auburn needs a win so bad. I think Auburn plays decent on the road. I think they're 0-3 in SEC play. This is ridiculous. I know that they stink this year, but they're still Auburn. They still have talent. Hugh Freeze is still a good coach. They've got a lot of the components to win. They're just not doing it. It's going to be a wild weekend of college football again. I'm telling you right. Auburn upsets Missouri in Columbia. I'm calling it right now. Missouri, they got Luther Burden, the best receiver in the country, but they can't get the ball to him. He's got like 9 catches. I mean, it doesn't matter if you got the best receiver if he doesn't get the ball enough. So I'm taking Auburn to shock the world. War Eagle. Let's go.
War Eagle. Wow. The team that has 2 mascots and neither of them make any sense, according to Josh.
That's right. Go Tigers. No, sir. War Eagle.
That was a good one. That was a good video. So let me tell you something, brother. Eli Derkowitz stands on business. That's a man that stands on business. Okay, and he's going to stand on some business on Saturday versus Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze is about to get fired. If he ain't careful, he's going to end up at Florida, or maybe him and him and Billy going to be hanging out on network television, CBS Sports or something. But
yeah, that's right.
Eli, he stands up on that business, and he's going to stand on it this weekend when the Auburn Tigers come to town.
It's a Tigers versus Tigers. It's a goal, all cats in this one.
Tigers. That's right.
So if you just pick the Tigers, you're guaranteed to win.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Wish you could do that on DraftKings. That'd be phenomenal.
That'd be great. I'm taking the Tigers. I want some money. All right. I like this. Auburn. I'm taking Auburn. You're taking Missouri. This is great. This is getting exciting. I'm very excited right now. Can you see how excited I am?
Yes. Okay. You look so excited.
I do. All right. Who's our next pick? Do you want to kick us off with we got just a few more, some big games.
All right. You want to go to Texas? Georgia, Texas?
Like literally, do I want to go to Texas?
Yeah. Do you want to go to Texas?
Physically? Sure. Let's go. Let's go to Texas.
All right. Georgia, Texas. So I want to see comments, what people think about Georgia, Texas. Who's your pick and why on Georgia, Texas? I give you mine first off. Texas is the better team. Texas is a better team. They're at home. 76% chance to win. I'm taking the dogs, baby. Give me the dogs. Row, row, row. Yeah. And this is why I'm taking the dogs, man. Until you can beat them, Kirby Smart, I'm taking Kirby Smart in that team. They got an old veteran quarterback at Georgia. Those veteran quarterbacks are hard to beat. They're very hard to beat. And I trust Kirby Smart in any environment, anywhere. He's going to have that team ready to play. And I want to see Texas actually pull it off in a big time SEC game like that.
I like it, man.
Low key, Josh sounds like Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, Travis.
And he's almost as funny. He's almost as funny as Nate.
Oh, what a compliment to Nate Bargatze. Yeah. No, thank you. I get that a lot. I sound like Nate Bargatze. I get on my comments all the time. People are like, "This guy's Nate Bargatze." This guy, I mean, all the time. So,
you do look like him.
Only thing that we have that we're not, the same in is that I haven't hosted Saturday Night Live or been a guest speaker on College Game Day or haven't made millions and millions of dollars, have a Netflix special. But other than that, we're basically very much the same.
It's kind of like if he's all state, you're all conference honorable mention. It's all good.
Right. Pretty much like that. Okay. Yes. All right. Donna Bateman, Donna Horns at home with Ewers and Manning. Yeah. Well, I think you could play.
You can only play one of them.
Yeah. You can only play one of them unless Arch wants to get out there and catch some passes. But Georgia at Texas, Austin's a hard place to play. Matthew McConaughey is going to be prancing around on the sidelines, I'm sure, with the hook 'em. Green lights all day, baby. Just green lights. All right, all right, all right. Wolf of
Yeah,
Wall Street.
love
Let's
it.
go. I'm taking Texas, baby. They're 6-0. They're about to be 7-0. The one team that could come into the SEC and actually play at the highest level, unlike Oklahoma, we've seen. I'm taking the Texas Longhorns to go 7-0 and beat Georgia in Austin. It's probably going to be a close one. I'm thinking
Like
within a touchdown, right? I mean, give me like a 35-30 or something like that. I think Texas wins.
Yeah,
Give me the Longhorns, Bevo, and the Steers getting it done. Georgia goes to 5-2, making the rest of their season super difficult to then have to get in the playoffs after a loss to Texas and Alabama. That's what I'm predicting. Let's go. Give me hook 'em.
I like it. I get it. I think it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be a super good game.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
That's good.
So,
Who's Brad? Brad Pratt says Wolverine married to a war eagle. Happy
wow.
we have separate time slots this week. That's good. Who would win in a fight between a Wolverine and an eagle?
Ooh. I'm taking the Wolverine. Dude, those things are nasty.
They're
I don't know.
scrappy.
I don't know about that well, but they're really scrappy. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think if an eagle is on the ground and
Right.
they're gonna engage one another in physical combat, I'm taking a Wolverine. I think so, but an eagle could swoop down
Yeah.
when a Wolverine's just minding his own business. He's like, I'm going to burrow a hole over here in northern Michigan. And then all this eagle swoops down. It's just like, no, watch this. Gets it with his talons, lifts him
Whoa.
up, gone.
See ya.
It could happen. A big old bald war eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets his friend the tiger to come out, and it's really a wrap for the Wolverine
Then
when they
it's
tagged.
over. Yeah. Then that Wolverine's done.
Maybe that should be your next film that you do is mascot fights. You predict the mascot fights.
Just got
Love
animals
that.
fighting left. Just call me Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Got animals fighting left and right. We're gonna bet on them too. All right.
Woo.
Okay. We got. Let's do one more. Michigan, Illinois, real quick. Again, implications here. If Michigan loses this, they're 4-2. They go to 4-3 and obviously be out of the playoff at that point. Illinois 5-1. Is Illinois all hype, or are the Fighting Illini the real deal, Caleb?
Ooh, I think they're all hype because I just don't trust teams like that when they come in. I know we had a comment earlier. I hate it. I'm pulling for them. I want them to be good, but I just don't trust them yet at all.
Okay.
I don't trust them. I'm taking Michigan. I have too much trust for the blue blood in Michigan before I have to see it from Illinois. What about you?
I'm with you. I think Michigan is still the better team. Illinois, it's been cool to see what they've done. I think they are talented. I think they I don't know the rest of their schedule, but I can easily see a 9-3 season for them, which would be huge for Illinois fans. I mean, come on.
Sorry, Kevin.
Kevin, all right, listen, a guy with the last name Ducey just said, don't crap on my Illini. Now that is
yes, he did.
That's the best comment we've ever had.
Oh,
Ducey.
Kevin.
Don't crap on don't Ducey on my Illini. That's I like it.
We love you, Kevin. That's awesome.
Love you, Kev. Thanks, bro. I love Illinois. I think I got some friends that are Illinois fans. About Michigan, they're too strong. Give me the Wolverines against the Illini. All right.
Like it.
Well, we got one game left to pick. Is that it?
Yeah. What game would that be?
What game would that be? The Alabama Crimson Tide coming to Knoxville, Tennessee, Neyland Stadium, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Crimson Tide coming in. Caleb, what do you think?
What do I think? Man, what do I think?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're Tennessee fan, but you got what? I mean, what's the strategic pick here? You know, if you're putting money on this thing, what are you doing?
Oh man, this is what I think. I'm taking Tennessee. Tennessee struggling. They have an O-line problem, but they have been really, really, really conservative. And it's time for them to open up the playbook. This is going to be Nico's coming out party. I'm calling it right now. This is the Nico, Josh Heupel coming out party on offense. These boys can do it. We know they can do it. We're ready for him. I'm telling y'all, Davy Crockett is loading up that musket for daggum elephant. Big caliber. Muskets are normally 50 caliber, and they coming for that elephant. I like Tennessee in this one because I think Tennessee gets that playbook open and gets back on track. What do you think?
I love it. I love the pick, and I love that you know what a caliber a musket is. I don't. I
Yeah,
can. I
sometimes
don't.
50, sometimes 60. Love it, love it, love it.
That's great. That's yeah. I'm a big musket guy myself. Got a couple
Yeah.
under the bed.
Do you wear the full moccasin and coonskin cap, or do
Every
you
night
just
when I
wear
go to
normal?
bed. Yeah, I wear it to
Yeah,
bed. I wear a coonskin
with
cap,
your
moccasins
musket.
on my feet. Yeah, musket under the bed. Yeah, leather strap
Yeah.
satchel, a whole deal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bama versus Tennessee. Listen, I'm a Vols fan. All right. I'm also a critical thinker, and an elite athlete. I mentioned that earlier.
Right. Right.
Right. But here's the thing: Alabama, they already lost to Georgia. I'm sorry, they already lost to Vanderbilt. They won a close one against Georgia. They won a
Yep.
close one against whoever they played last week. Who was it? There was, anyways. Alabama coming into Neyland, 3-point favorites. Jalen Milroe is going to be hard to stop. He's good. Tennessee defense is going to see the best talent they've seen probably thus far, but I'm not picking against my Vols. I can't do it.
Oh.
I can't do it. Coming down to the wire, just like 2 years ago in 2022, it comes down to the wire. I think we win towards the end in a close one. The Vols give Alabama their second loss of the season. Give me Tennessee. Go Vols, baby. Rocky Top. You'll always be home, sweet home to me. Okay. Nobody wants
Love
to
it.
hear me sing, but yeah,
Oh,
good
I
old
love
Rocky
it.
Top.
How much you think the crowd's going to help them? You think the crowd will be good? I got some. We see some comments in there. Any concerns with it being a day game? Any of that, or do you think?
I think the day game is good for Tennessee. I do. I
Do
think
you?
they got less time to sit around and think about it on a Saturday. They just get up and start playing. Think about that early game a couple years ago when they beat LSU at home in Baton Rouge. They played 11 o'clock, and just destroyed
Yeah.
LSU. I think Tennessee. I think they get it. I don't want to see them take the goalpost down though. Whoever commented that, I don't want to see it. I think.
I was going to ask you about that. Is this a
Yeah.
goalpost worthy win if they beat Alabama?
I mean, maybe yes, but I don't think we do it because we did it 2 years ago. We are now competitive with Alabama. So now you don't tear down
We
the
are.
goalpost if it's not a big upset. We're only 3-point underdogs. We now play with Alabama. This is not Tennessee of old. It's a new season. It's a new day in America. If you're a
It is.
Tennessee
Well, we
Vol.
talked last week with Ron Slay about how teams are tearing down a goalpost when they beat Tennessee now. So they're
Yeah.
in that level where I think we need to be
Right.
conservative with the goalpost tearers.
Yeah, we expect to win our
Yeah.
football games. So I think the Neyland, Brett says Neyland will be the difference. I think it will be. It's going to be rocking. We're going to create some turnovers, I think, with Jalen Milroe, and that's going to help us. Our defense is going to fuel us, but Nico does have a solid game. Dylan Sampson has a big game. We got to get the ball to Brew McCoy as much as we can. The guys, Brew McCoy has like 2 catches in the last 2 games, or it's ridiculous. He's got to have more touches. So yeah, give me the Vols. We're going to do it.
Love that. Brew McCoy. We got to get the ball to Brew McCoy. That boy's a player. Come on, let's get into football.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Are you going to pick the Vols no matter who they play? Is that do we expect that? Because we're obviously picking because we're Vols fans, but
Yeah.
I still think it's a good pick. I mean, if you were a completely neutral observer of this game, it's still okay to pick Tennessee guys.
Yeah, it is. So there's been plenty of years in the past where I would not have picked Tennessee for sure. Right.
Yeah.
We all know that. Okay. They're competitive and good. The entire year, I've liked this game better than I like Georgia because I'd rather take Alabama and Neyland versus having to go to Athens and take on Georgia. Far and away would pick that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would pick against Tennessee when the right time comes. But I will say this: I certainly don't bet on Tennessee because I see everything through orange glasses, so I have to stay away.
That's smart. That's smart. Man, thank you guys for tuning in. What a great show. We went over an hour here, and it's been very cool. If you feel so desirable to donate to Honorable Mention Sports, we would love that. It supports our work. We are we call it fan supported and fan driven. We are not Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard up here. We are just two guys that love football, and we've been able to take kind of what I've done in the sports world and leverage that to create this company. And we're excited. So please donate if you want to, us to keep going and doing stuff. Make sure you follow us. Go to the website, honorablementionsports.com, and keep us going. And we can, if you're interested in contributing in some way, just hit us up. Let us know if you want to be part of it in some way. If you have something to say, or if you got some skills you want put to use, let us know. So thanks for commenting. Sorry we didn't get to every comment, but we will try to get to as many as we can going forward. So, Caleb, last words.
Go Vols, baby! It's going to be a great weekend of college football. Everybody, get ready, get settled in, and have an absolutely fantastic weekend. We will talk to you guys next week for sure, and you can tune in tonight. We'll be back on with Arkansas offensive linemen. So exciting times.
Yep.